On this episode of Maria's Portuguese Table, we head to the famed wine country of Northern California, where our Portuguese heritage is seen, tasted, and heard this far west. Join us for another culinary journey.
So let's set the stage for our listeners.
Okay, guys.
Welcome everybody to another episode of our Portuguese Table. Oh my God, I'm so excited you're here.
California style.
Yes,
We're doing
California
California style.
And we are live from Tasca Tasca with Manuel Azevedo, Chef Manuel.
Hello, hello.
There's so much to talk about,
There's
Maria.
so much. I know.
In 2015, Angela Costa Simões, a good friend and tireless ambassador for the Portuguese-American relationships, and myself started our Portuguese Table podcast to discuss all things Portuguese. Normally, we record these online from opposite coasts, but with me being out west, we jumped at the chance to record one face-to-face, and in wine country, no less.
Here, once I leave here, I feel like I need to do a State of the Union address.
Right. Oh, yeah. You have both perspectives now. The
I
West
do,
Coast,
the
East Coast.
East Coast, and I've been in the Azores, all within several months of each other. I've been to the motherland, and then East Coast, West Coast, speaking to other Portuguese people and businesses and establishments and all of these great things. And I feel like I have to get up and say, you know what? We're doing okay, folks. We are doing okay.
Besides being a world-class chef and an entrepreneur, Chef Manuel is heavily involved in the local Portuguese community, doing what he can to preserve, celebrate, and to share his heritage with others.
Whether it's a Portuguese hall or a bakery or a restaurant, is you need to brand the culture and brand the restaurant in a way that reaches more than the Portuguese community, because it's shrinking. The only way to survive is to stay true to your core, stay true to your roots, but broaden your audience, brand yourself in a way that attracts people. There's all but great things about Portuguese. The food is awesome, the wine is great, and now we finally get it out. The people could not be better. And so, and we're notoriously horrible promoters of ourselves. And I had a weird gene where I was happy to promote myself from the beginning.
I think the three of us
Yeah,
have
right.
that gene. We
Yeah,
do.
right.
We all have that.
So,
If there's one thing Angela and I can do, it's talk. And today's podcast ran the gamut of topics, from my adventures in California to the great things Chef Manuel and his passion for Portuguese cuisine have done here in wine country. And his place, Tasca Tasca, was the perfect setting for our podcast.
And we are sitting at a Portuguese table.
We are sitting.
We're gonna put a picture of this
Yes.
in the blog.
Cheese has honey over it. She already took a bite, folks.
So
She already had it before I even
did.
tried anything.
You know, I'm never shy about those things. So here you go. That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, who has it together at 23?
Not me.
I know I didn't.
I didn't.
I didn't decide to be a chef until I was 27. And that was because my wife kicked me in the butt and said, you need to make something of yourself.
I already love your wife.
Yeah, no, she's awesome unless she's mad at you, then she's not so.
Right.
I got to see a bullfight.
Like, what do you mean you've never been to a bullfight?
Because we don't have it on the East Coast. So as soon as like the bull would come close to me, I'd start screaming and holding on to the guy.
You don't always have to be traditional.
Yes.
It's important to be authentic though, and we're
Preach, Manny, because honestly,
He's preaching.
no, it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
We gotta
think
wrap it
Our
up.
film crew's like, what the
Come
hell?
on, we gotta
we're
go
burning
to
daylight here, right?
With the podcast complete, it was over to the bar with Chef Manuel to sample some of Tasca Tasca's house specialties.
welcome to Tasca Tasca. We have nearly 40 items on our menu, so this is just a sampling so you gals can see what we're up to here. One of my former chefs at Cafe Lucia and now sommelier for all the restaurants, he kind of created this dish. It's a São Jorge cheese with linguiça. That's with our La Salette recipe that's made in Fernando São Jorge linguiça and Tracy. The common thread through the Portuguese restaurants that I have is that I've wanted to promote our food and culture for a long, long time. And I really don't think there's a better way than through food. And it's been really a very rewarding process to share our culture, our wonderful culture, through the food. I wanted to put my heart into it, and whether it failed or not, it was all heart. And thank goodness, knock on wood, it's done well, and that's why it feels so good, I think, to everybody, because it's all from here.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah, and you feel it. You really do. You feel it, honey. You do.
If you have ever seen our show, you will know that I know my way around a farm. I have even come face to face with a cow's udder, but I have never visited a farm dedicated solely to making cheese until today. Achadinha Cheese Company, located just east of Petaluma, California, has been producing award-winning handmade artisanal cheeses and butter since 2000. This has been a family farm since 1955, and it's now being operated by its third generation, Jim and Donna Pacheco.
And I'm just so excited. I just want you to show me everything about this. I just
Very
want to know
good.
everything.
That means we have to put you to work, though.
Oh my goodness. You know,
That's a part of it.
You did not tell me that on the phone. That was not part of our conversation.
It's a quiet part of the deal. That's the best part.
I love it.
With Donna overseeing the cheese making and tours of the farm, I knew I was going to get a hands-on experience in making cheese, California style.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here, we're gonna pick up these harps. These harps act like knives. Right now the milk is in a gelled consistency. In order for us to cook the curds evenly, what we'll need to do is we'll need to cut these curds into inch square cubes.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna let you do the same thing.
All right, let's do it.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull mine out.
All right,
and
and
switch
then-
sides with you.
And then I'm gonna pull
Yep,
this one out.
all the way to the edge. Perfect.
Oh my.
Good job.
Awesome.
Okay, are you coming back on Monday to do this? It'd be nice if I were about 3 inches taller.
Well, you and I both.
So if you'd like, carefully reach in and feel the curds. We want to do everything by hand. The more careful you are, the more it will protect the molecular structure of the milk molecule. And the better. Absolutely. This is our aging room. What we'll do is when the cheeses are formed out there, in the morning what we'll do is we'll carefully take them out of the plastic forms. We dry salt them with sea salt all around the outside to form a nice rind on them. And then what we'll do is we'll put them flat on the shelves, like very similar to these cheeses. These cheeses are put flat on the shelves. They are turned once a week so that we get even mold growth. So you'll see there's
look
not
at
as much
that
mold
on the
on that
bottom.
side.
Yep.
This is Brancha. Brancha is a mold ripened cheese. This is a blend of both goat and cow's milk.
Okay,
Right.
that's a beautiful color.
So we'll let it sit. The caramelization is from the olive oil that we rub it down with. So it'll sit flat for about 4 months. We lightly scrub it, put it upright, and start rubbing it down with olive oil. That gives it the color.
So after the mold, you scrub off the mold with the salt water.
Yes.
And then olive oil rubbed. What a gorgeous color.
Yep.
You know, it's funny. It smells amazing. And if I did not know this was cheese, this looks like Portuguese bread.
It absolutely.
Doesn't it? It looks like the cornbread.
Yes,
'Cause
absolutely.
That color is spot on.
Yeah,
You know,
it is. It's perfect.
Fascinating is the best way I can describe the cheese making process at this scale, so vastly different than making some queijo fresco in your kitchen. This type of cheese requires stringent cleanliness and abiding by all the health and safety standards, but the end result is so worth it.
Let's head back in and see how the curds have progressed. See the difference? Big difference. How long have you been cooking? 40 minutes. So you can kind of feel, reach in, and you can feel the consistency. Some are still pretty gelatinous.
Yeah, and some are getting a little bit more cooked. I can see it. Almost like cottage cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much the same
Yeah.
consistency.
And it's warm.
It's
Because I can
warm.
feel all this. This is heated up.
Yep, it's heated up, and so what he'll do is he'll stir this for probably another half an hour.
Okay.
When he's done stirring, then what we'll do is we'll drain the whey off and pump it up and feed it back to the animals. It
Oh,
still
that's
has a
beautiful.
tremendous amount of nutrition in it.
Now that I've seen the cheese and butter making process firsthand, Donna kindly toured me around the family farm, where I got to meet cute little calves and goats that will one day grow up to help make the cheese. And I got to meet a duck in love with a dog, which I have to say is not something you see every day.
The duck loves Ruby. And he just left his girlfriend. It's okay, Ruby. You're a good girl. Sit, sit, good girl. The dog he left his girlfriend to come get Ruby. We've seen Ruby out in the field chasing the cows. He loves her. He loves her.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
It's
That
funny.
is just so cute.
This is the queen. This is 44. She's the queen bee at the barn.
Oh my girl. Come here, my babies. Come here, my babies.
Okay, I think you've earned your cheese tasting for the day.
Yay!
You've done a great job. And look how happy they
They
are.
are. They're so beautiful.
This is a variety of the cheeses that we make. It's just like wine tasting. You have
Yeah.
to start from the mild and work your way through.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna have you try first is the fresh curd. This was made on Monday. It's a blend of both goat and cow's milk, very mild, melts like a
I
mozzarella.
was gonna say, it does smell like mozzarella.
Yeah,
Very nice.
nice and mild.
It's a combination of a mozzarella and a ricotta.
Yes, yeah. So now try the same cheese. The only difference is that one is mold ripened and aged just over 7 months.
That smells heavenly. It really does. Okay.
Big difference. Mold ripening is amazing.
Donna walked me through the variety of cheese products that they offer, explaining the nuances of the different cheeses. It was a delectable experience that made me question if I ever really knew what good cheese tasted like. The varietals that Achadinha Farms is producing are really out of this
A
world.
little bit of watermelon. It's a European style feta stored in a sea salt brine. So with the watermelon,
Because you've got the salty
yes.
and the creamy on top, but then you have the sweet and that snap.
Yep.
That crunch
It's
from the
such
watermelon.
a nice pairing. It's my favorite. So this is butter. It does have a little bit of sea salt in it. This has no preservatives in it. None of these do. And so, everybody's are going to have different ideas of what cheeses. Some people like aged cheeses, some people don't.
And now what is this?
And then that's the capricious. With the
That-
capricious, it's an aged goat, straight aged goat's cheese.
That's the one we saw that looked like a piece of bread.
Yeah, looks very different from the
Yes,
outside,
it's very
doesn't it?
light. I was expecting that same golden color
Yeah.
throughout.
No, with that one's aged about 10 months. It's the hand-rolled cheese rubbed down with olive oil. We won best cheese in the United States with that cheese in 2002.
Your father-in-law had this farm. So when did it go from the farm that he had here to all of these delicious products that you're coming out of here?
It's definitely been a progression. What we had done around 2000 is we started making cheese. And so started out on my stovetop and really got very serious about it probably about 2004.
I think being a farmer, it's a special breed.
It's a nice way of saying it.
Does that make sense?
It is. It makes perfect sense.
It's not for everyone.
No.
And it takes a very special, strong-willed person to do it. So I know that if this was started by your father-in-law, Senhor Pacheco, from Achadinha, all of that continues still today. It is still here.
Absolutely.
It is still here.
When you think of California wine country, you think of Napa County or Sonoma County, and you would be right. But the rich agricultural landscape that makes for growing world-class grapes that make world-class wines reaches well beyond Napa and Sonoma. Even further inland to the San Joaquin Valley, you will not only find the abundance of wineries, but it is the home of one winery named after an Azorean island, St. George Winery.
Welcome, Maria.
Yes, honey.
Oh, welcome to St. George Winery.
Yes, this is beautiful. My God, this is gorgeous.
What we tried to do was to bring Portugal and Europe and the Azores to our winery, all here. We're going to go into the tasting room and we're going to talk about wine and food and pairing.
Well, before we go in, okay, I have a gift for you from Achadinha Cheese Company.
I've been wanting to taste this cheese. Yes, so
So this is perfect.
this is perfect. And we do pair cheese with our wine here.
Yeah, so this
let's
is
go in.
this-
We'll go into the tasting room. Let me get the door.
all right.
You know, I was born and raised on a dairy, and we had, you know, a normal-sized dairy in those days. Well, my grandfather was from St. George. He would come over to our dairy, and we would get together as a family and go out and get the grapes and make the wine. So it was a tradition that we did every year.
We knew when it was time to make wine because all of the men would be there at the house.
A great social.
Oh, it was. All the men would be downstairs. All the women would be upstairs making the meals because at the end, we'd all be eating
We did
together.
that too.
Vern has gone through great lengths to make a tasting experience at St. George Winery to be a special one. He guided me through the different varietals at St. George Wines with some stories along the way.
This is made from Portuguese Table,
Okay.
which is a Tempranillo, but it's the Portuguese clone. The other 50% is a Caranon. And during Christmas time, we could only afford an outside wine to buy, and it was either Lancers or Matus.
You are so right.
So remember, and it was like $1.50, and my folks
Yes.
thought they were gonna go broke. And so I decided I've gotta make Matus. So here's our friendship and our rosé. It's a little sweet.
Oh, but now
It's got that bite at the end.
comes the bite at the very end.
You know, the little bubbles in there.
Yes.
The little bite and the
That is
acid.
delicious.
Oh, yes.
And I love that little tang that comes at the very end.
So our next wine, Maria, is Verdelho. That's the American name, but you and I know it as Verdelho. Verdelho. This varietal came from cuttings from Peak.
I don't think people realize this, that the wines of Pico were demanded at the table of Russian czars.
Yes. Wasn't that amazing?
How amazing is that?
Yes. And, you know, this is fresh, got a little bit of a bite. Mm-hmm. Creamy.
Very creamy.
Yeah.
It's a creamy cheese. It just opened it up.
Yes, it does. Okay, so Maria,
Yes.
I have a special wine for you.
Oh my goodness, okay.
And it's also called Maria.
Oh, I bet it's wonderful.
And I think it would really go well with the cheese that you brought.
Okay.
So let's try to pair that.
All right, let's do that. It's almost like a port.
Well, it's a white port.
Oh my God, it is.
It's 19% alcohol.
Woohoo.
It kind of has a little nutty taste
Yes,
to
it does.
So let's try it with the
You know,
cheese. Oh yeah,
it kicks in.
yeah.
And that cheese just,
Oh yeah.
that
It
was a
wakes
wonderful
everything.
pairing.
Oh yes. To be honest with you, we've never paired anything with the Maria.
Really?
I couldn't find anything I do now.
Wow. And a Maria brought it to you.
Yes.
Tasting St. George wines with Vern was an educating experience. With our wine glasses in hand, he gave me a special tour of the winery. Besides making wines, the winery grounds hosts weddings and other events, and Vern proudly showed me around.
This is just a beautiful, wonderful place, and I feel like I've discovered this new little spot here.
Just give us a chance to fix it.
Earlier in the show, we hung out with Chef Manuel at his Tasca Tasca restaurant in Sonoma. But now we're in a quaint wine country town of Healdsburg, where his other restaurant, Cafe Lucia, co-owned with his sister and named after her too. And today we're going to have a chance to cook together.
All right, Maria, you ready to go
Oh,
work?
I'm ready to work. I am ready. What are we making today?
We're making the Francesinha. This is can be translated to Little French Girl. It's very, very popular in Portugal. You don't see it so much on the islands. I spent a vacation studying it.
Oh.
So we went all over Porto.
I've never had this.
You're gonna love it.
This will be the first time I've ever tried it.
You're gonna love it. It has everything Portuguese. Linguiça, it has beer, it has bread, it has cheese. I mean, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna sweat these ingredients here. We have onions, a little bit of butter, some linguiça. I think this is one of the most important parts. If you're gonna make this, I would say buy the best linguiça you can buy. Throw that in there.
All right.
The butter, you throw the linguiça in after that, and then we'll throw in the onions. We don't want it to be too dark. It'll darken and muddy up the
All right.
Francesinha sauce.
The Francesinha sandwich. It's a dish I've never tried nor cooked. So Chef Manuel broke the recipe down for me and wasted no time in putting me to work.
We're gonna add 2 beers.
One more.
We're gonna add a little chicken stock.
Oh, nice.
Okay. This tomato paste.
Okay.
A little tomato sauce.
Oh.
Add in a little Madeira.
You add Madeira wine? Oh my.
Portuguese, we have the beer, we have the Madeira wine.
I love it.
This is Portuguese spice blend. It's the spice blend that my mom uses in the linguiça recipe that we make at home. And all those spices, I decided, why don't I use this flavor combination throughout my menu?
Oh my God.
To make it uniquely my family. Pour that into a nice rolling boil. Beautiful. You can see it thickened up a little bit already.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, we're gonna let it simmer now for about 10 minutes or so just to make sure the cornstarch is cooked. Now what we're gonna do is start putting together the components for the Francesinha. Give it a nice saute.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love how that's bubbling up.
This goes into the oven for 2 minutes.
Oh, wow. Toasted up the bread.
Yeah, nice
The
and
linguiça's rolled up, so is the ham, so everything is nice and warm.
We're gonna start assembling it here.
Okay.
And a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Cheese in here.
Okay.
We have our egg that's gonna go right on top.
Oh my. Oh, I see. I see what you're doing.
Now we're gonna put this in the oven. You
It'll
painted it
melt
on.
and it'll hug it.
Yeah, it'll look like we just painted it on. So we're gonna leave that in there.
Okay. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000.
Yes. I think we're gonna call it then. Just coats it a little bit.
It just went down a little.
The sauce will continue the process. So that's,
Right.
you're just kind of giving it a little head start. Beautiful. Just catch all the corners.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Japanese little pepper threads. Only thing missing now is French fries, right? You need something to soak up that wonderful sauce. So now we add. This is our peri peri spice blend, but I add a little extra sea salt to it so that it.
Okay. So it's going to be a spicy fries.
A little bit, yeah, a little spicy. Nice
I like
flavor.
that.
Now we're gonna put that in there,
Oh my goodness.
and that is the Francesinha a la Caperucita.
Wow, that is beautiful.
With the meal plated, Chef Manuel and I were able to sit down and enjoy this special dish.
Oh, look at that.
Hello. Oh my goodness. The color is beautiful in there. And of course, we're having Portuguese beer. I'm going to try this
You
sauce.
gotta taste that sauce.
Because that sauce, I mean, that was a long time of,
Yeah, that's pretty good. We did
Ooh.
good.
wow.
That good?
You did good.
Yeah.
Wow, this is really good. I'm just going in
Yeah, that's.
with a sauce here. We're going to do it.
Work.
Wow. I might have taken a bigger bite than I should have. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic.
When you get to the center and the egg yolk breaks, it's just another little surprise.
Oh yeah, I hit it. Oh my God. Oh my God, look at the creaminess of the egg.
It's one of those things in the business. I may develop a dish, and then you move on, and then sometimes I have to slow down to circle back and enjoy it again. So this has been a great treat for me too.
This has been wonderful. I mean, I've enjoyed spending the day with you. First at Tasca Tasca, and then now here.
Well, thank
It's experiences like this, cooking with a world-renowned chef of Portuguese heritage in the middle of wine country, that inspired me to want to create a cooking show. It warms my heart to know that the passion for Portuguese cuisine and flavors are alive and well so far from the old country. As I sat there enjoying this wonderful dish with Chef Manuel and his sister Lucia, I could not help but think how lucky I am to have the chance to be able to share this experience with all of you. To see the love people have for their craft and heritage, it's truly a very special time.
Yes, cheers. Salute.